Hey everyone, Donald here from Otaku Podcast. This is a quick supplementary video to go along with the video I recorded a couple days ago about how to subscribe to Otaku Podcast on your iOS or Android device. I wanted to show the interface from an iPhone or an iPod Touch because in some cases it might be slightly different than the iPad interface, so it might be useful. So again, the same four programs I highlighted in the earlier video are supported on the iPhone and the iPod Touch. That's Stitcher, Downcast, iCatcher, and Instacast. Let's start by taking a look at Stitcher. Again, it'll ask you if you already have a Stitcher account, you can log into it, or you can create a new account. I'm going to go ahead and create a new account. And again, you can choose whether or not you want to receive email updates from them. If you're worried about spam, you might want to say no here. And when you're ready, tap Done. Again, it'll ask you for your location. You don't have to give that to them. I guess if you do, maybe they can find radio stations that are in your area that broadcast on Stitcher. I don't know. Your choice. So this is interesting. Not sure why I didn't get this message on the iPad. Apparently, it sees that I am subscribed to certain podcasts on my iPhone in the actual iTunes app, and it decided to subscribe to them for me. That's kind of cool. Anyways, so now let's find Otaku no Podcast. Just tap in the search box up here. Hey, and there we are. Tap on it. And here we go. Here we are, Otaku no Podcast. Otaku no Podcast, episode 32 for Wednesday, March 7th, 2012. It begins playing the latest episode right away. If you tap here on recent episodes, you can actually scroll through our older episodes. So if you want to find an older episode, you can play it. Let's take a look at the PMX episode here. Otaku no Podcast, episode 28 for Monday, December. Now, when you want to subscribe to Otaku no Podcast, just tap the star icon, just like on the iPad. And we can add it to the favorite station. And there you go. Every time a new episode comes out, you'll be able to listen to it on Stitcher. Now let's take a look at Downcast. Now this is my actual iPhone, so this copy of Downcast here is the one that I actually use. So you'll see all of my 18 bazillion podcast subscriptions. So you have to excuse the clutter. As you can see, I'm already subscribed to some of our Otaku no Podcast feeds, but I purposefully unsubscribed from the main feed just so I can show you how to subscribe to something here. What you do is tap on the Add Podcasts tab at the bottom and tap Search for Podcasts and search for Otaku no Podcast. Oops. And there we are. I'm going to subscribe to the combined feed here. To do that, just tap the subscribe button. And then tap the back arrow here to get out. Now go back to Podcasts, the bottom tab here, and you'll see it's in the middle of refreshing our feed. Now if we scroll down here, you will see the Otaku no Podcast feed. So let's tap into it. Now I've configured my copy of Downcast so that it does not automatically start downloading episodes. That's why I'm not seeing anything here. But the default is that it will start downloading the latest episode, so you would normally see that here. But mine is configured to not do that. So in my case, let's go into the View Other Available Episodes. And here you can see a list of all of our episodes, and tapping on one, again, offers you the option to either download, which means that you have to wait till the download finishes before you can start playing, or you can stream it directly from our server. So I'm going to choose streaming. Otaku no Podcast, episode 32 for Wednesday, March 7th, 2012. Lost Treasures 1, a chat with Laura and Landa. This episode is brought to you by GoToMeeting, now with HD Faces. Let me pause this. By the way, let me show you a couple of handy buttons here. These buttons at the top let you go backwards 30 seconds, backwards 15 seconds, forward 30 seconds, or forward 2 minutes. So this is useful if, for example, I said something a little too fast and you didn't quite catch it, you want to go back and listen, or if you get to a boring part of the show and you want to skip forward past it. And finally, this button down here that says 1x, that'll actually let you change the playback speed. Well, hey everyone, we are back with another episode. Yes, I know, shocking, isn't it? Now it's about 1.5x. When we actually have a new episode for you. You might be wondering, well, how'd that happen? Now it's at 1.5x. Well, it's part of my New Year's resolution. I'm really going to try this year to stick to a more or less regular release schedule. Anyways, basically it speeds up the playback, and it does it in a way that does not make you sound like a chipmunk, which is, some people can actually comprehend audio, spoken audio, even if it's played back at a little faster speed. That way it sort of cuts down on the listening time. And that's Downcast. Again, Downcast can also play videos. Let me find our Curry with Rice episode here, and we can stream it. And it pops open the iPhone video player. Greetings. Welcome once again to the Otaku podcast Test Kitchens. Oops, today, I'm going to show you how to make a classic Japanese 2x dish, speed. Curry with rice. Let's get cooking. Let's go back to Anyways, you get the idea. And that's Downcast. Now let's take a look at iCatcher. Thank you, that was extremely useful. Actually, these tips are kind of cool. You might want to go through and read them. To subscribe to a new podcast, tap the plus button in the upper left. Then tap Find New Podcasts. Here you can scroll through genres or a listing of top podcasts, or you can use the search box to actually search for a podcast by name. So I'm going to search for Otaku no Podcast here. Oops. There we are. Just tap on us. And tap the subscribe button. And there we go. Tap the back arrow here to get back. Now, if we tap into our entry here, you'll see that it's automatically started downloading the latest episode. Let's let that finish. And to play it, just tap on it. Otaku no Podcast, episode 32 for Wednesday, March. A couple of cool buttons to show you here. There's a skip backwards 30 second and a skip forwards 30 second. And if you see the 1x at the bottom left, that'll let you change the playback speed. So here's 1.25 speed, 1.5 times fast, twice as fast. You get the idea. And if you look at the upper right, there's a little, what looks like a page from a notebook. Tapping on that will let you read the show notes. And of course, you can scroll through our previous episodes here. And to play one, just tap on it. Again, it'll offer you the option to either download or stream. I'm going to stream. Otaku no Podcast, episode 28 for Monday, December 5th, 2011. And iCatcher is also a video podcast player. So I can show you, I can play our video here. Greetings. Welcome once again to the Otaku no Podcast Test Kitchens. You get the idea. And that's iCatcher. Finally, let's take a look at Instacast. To subscribe to a new podcast, tap the plus button in the lower left. It presents you with a list of the most popular podcasts. You can also search by genre by tapping the genre button down here. Or you can look specifically for video podcasts, which is kind of neat. Or you can search for podcasts by tapping the search button. Let's search for Otaku no Podcast. To subscribe, just tap on the podcast and tap the subscribe button. When you're finished, tap Done. To play an episode, just tap into the podcast you're interested in, tap the episode. If you want to start listening to it right away, just tap the stream button. Otherwise, tap on the little thingy that looks like a filing tray to start downloading the podcast. And now that we've downloaded the podcast, you'll notice that the stream button has actually changed to say start. Either way, just press that button, and it'll either stream the podcast or download it. Podcast episode 32 for Wednesday. Pressing the down arrow button up here will let you read our show notes. And to get back to the playback controls, tap the upwards facing button up there. A chat with Laura and Lambda. This episode is brought to you by GoToMeeting, now with HD Faces. You can also scroll through all previous episodes and play one. Here, in this case, I'm going to choose to stream it. Otaku no Podcast, episode 28 for Monday, December 5th, 2000. And I forgot to mention this in the first version of this video, but Instacast also supports video podcasts. Let me go into our video podcast channel here and play one. Greetings! Welcome once again to the Otaku no Podcast Test Kitchens. Today, and that's Instacast. So there you have it. That's how the 4 programs I showed you look on the iPhone as well as the iPod Touch. Again, if you have any questions, please feel free to drop us an email, feedback@otakunopodcast.com, or find us on Twitter or Facebook or any of the other ways you can contact us, and all of those are on the Contact Us page on our website. Again, hope this video was helpful, and thank you for listening to the podcast.